everyone. I'm Sam Valenti, and today I have the incredible honor of talking with an absolute legend. Last year, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and her new album, Evolution, will be released on March 29th. The one and only Sheryl Crow. Sheryl, it is such an honor to be talking with you today.
Oh, Sam, thank you. Thanks for taking time to talk to me. I love it. You're on your college campus? Is that where you're at?
Yep, Arizona State.
Nice. Love it. We're coming your way. Or I think we're coming there on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. You will be performing at the Extra Innings Festival here in Tempe, which is so awesome. How excited are you for that?
I am really excited, and I'll tell you why I'm excited. It's always fun for us to play in Arizona, but more than that, even um, when I go out on the road and I get to play at these festivals, sometimes I get to see people play that I would never get to see, right? Because I'm always playing. But on a festival, I get to see people like Dave Matthews, who I've known for quite a long time. Love him. And I get to see Noah Khan, who I've not seen yet, but I really love his music. My kids listen to him. So it's going to be fun for us, but it's also just going to be a fun day for us to get to see other artists play as well.
Yes, absolutely. And it's going to be great having you back in the Valley because, of course, you were here last year for a Super Bowl pregame concert, which was fitting since your Chiefs beat the Eagles. Um, but
Oh, can you believe it?
yeah. I mean, it's crazy how things just ended up working so perfectly, right?
Yes, yeah. It's funny when you have two young boys, you wind up making decisions based on what teams they like, what events you're going to go play for based on like who's in the final four. So to get to play for the Super Bowl, a Super Bowl event last year it was really fun, I have to say. We had a great time.
Yes, for sure. And speaking of the Chiefs, I actually saw that you were able to go see a practice not too long ago. What was that experience like?
Well, it's kind of funny, Sam. I have a dear friend that I went to college with at Missouri, who is one of their trainers, and we got to go and watch the team in training. And my 13-year-old Levi is a huge Chiefs fan, so he and I went up. At the end of practice, he got to run a couple of plays with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And then the four of us got our picture taken together. Well, as we were leaving, I said to Levi, I said, "Is that absolutely the coolest thing that's ever happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, it would have been really cool if I could have just had a picture with the two of them." So later that day, I got photoshopped out of the picture with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And now his screensaver on his phone is just him and the two big, Kansas City Chiefs. Like they were just hanging out. Mom's nowhere in sight. So all was good. All was good. That ended, it all ended well.
And what's crazy is, of course, Mahomes, Kelsey, all the Chiefs, such great athletes. But I was doing a little research and I saw that you're quite the athlete yourself. You ran track at a Kennett High School back in the day. I have to ask, what are your favorite memories from running track?
Oh my gosh. So I used to run hurdles. I used to run low hurdles, and I ran the 220 and the 440 and also the 100 yards. Now, when I was running, it wasn't meters. It wasn't 200 meters. It wasn't 400 meters. It was the 220 and the 440. And I loved running hurdles. Went to state, got to state, tripped over the last hurdle in the 100 yard and wiped out and came in eighth. So that's what I remember, Sam, now that you've asked. Trauma.
Yeah, yes. Well, I will tell you what, I'll tell you what needs to happen. We need to figure out some way to get you to Paris this summer for the Olympics.
Man, if you can make that happen, Sam, I'll pay you a lot of money. I'll I'll play in the parking lot. I'll bring out Gatorade bottles to the runners, whatever it takes.
I'll tell you what, I'll get started working on that.
Yes, you do
But
that in all your free time.
Yes, for sure. And if, now speaking of Canada, of course, as you know, your hometown, it's 100 miles from Memphis, which is also the name of one of my favorite albums that you've
Oh
made.
my gosh.
Absolutely love 100 Miles. There are these great influences on that album, right? Like soul, rhythm and blues. There's even some reggae influence with Eye to Eye.
Yeah.
I have to ask, what are your thoughts on that album looking back now?
Well, first of all, I love that you mentioned it because nobody ever talks about that album. I loved making that album. I loved my influences from, I mean, really, I grew up, Memphis being the closest city, and I grew up with AM, FM radio, and we used to dial in FM radio so we could hear the radio stations out of Memphis. And I mean, it does sound like I was born in the dark ages, which I'm not going to lie to you, I was born in the dark ages. But I loved my influences that came out of Memphis. I loved Stax. I loved Motown. I loved Atlantic Records. So much of the Wrecking Crew. Just so much good music that was inspired by Memphis or came out of Memphis. A lot of rhythm and blues. Um, was a part of really a part of my lineage. So it was fun to make that record. It didn't do as well, but I think I was in between record labels as I recall, but loved making that record.
So many great songs that album. There's like Summer Day, Long Road Home. Of course, I mentioned Eye to Eye earlier. Just so many great songs on that album, and and it's just it's always such a fun album to listen to. I always love it.
Thank you. I'm glad you like that record. We need to start playing a couple of songs off that record. We've gotten away from it, but now that you mentioned it, Sam, we're gonna have to pull some of those out.
Let's get into a single now that was recently released off of the new upcoming Evolution album. It's, of course, going to be coming out March 29th. Let's talk about Do It Again. So this is a great song. And what's interesting is that you said that you feel like you've been writing this song for 30 years. So I'm curious, kind of how did this specific song come together?
Well, I do feel like I've been writing it for 30 years. I think, when you get to a certain age, you start really looking at what is working in your life and what is not working for you, what's bringing you down, what's keeping you from moving forward. And eventually you sort of have to address some of those things, whether it's with a therapist or whether it's just by doing work on yourself, listening to podcasts, whatever it is. For me, I started meditating about 27 years ago, and that was a big game changer. While I haven't done it all the way through consistently, for the most part of the last 20 years, I've been a pretty consistent meditator. That has been a game changer. I've done quite a lot of work just digging around to figure out um, why I get paralyzed in certain situations. And I sat down with my longtime collaborator, John Shanks, and he and I both have gone through our own separate journeys. And what wound up coming out of it was just sort of like a letter to ourselves about letting go of things and realizing that every single day you get a do-over. You get to start over with a complete new slate. Um, and sometimes when you write songs, you don't really think about whether they're going to come out, what's going to happen with them. And then lo and behold, here it is, the third song on the record. And it may be my favorite song on the whole record.
Like I said, it's a really tremendous song, and of course, I'm just so excited for the full album release that will be coming up. I'm just I'm so excited of course for like any new material we get from you. It's I'm all ears. So
Oh man, thanks, Sam. I appreciate it very much. It's fun to put new music out. People really love the old hits because they have memories with them. But for artists like me, particularly who've been around for a long time, it's always great to put something fresh out. And it's going to be a different experience than it used to be where there was radio and but now it's all streaming and playlists and all that thing. So you just you assume that if somebody hears it and they like it, that there was a reason that you wrote it.
I'm just so thankful for the amazing music, really, that you have given the world. And of course, I'm thankful for the opportunity to talk with you today. I must say, I remember watching Cars as a little kid and hearing Real Gone for the first time. Immediately became a fan. So this has been pretty amazing.
Oh, I love that. It is interesting that, I didn't grow up with streaming and stuff, but come to find out that Real Gone is my most streamed song. And it was from a movie, a cartoon movie, right? And then I wind up adopting these two precious little boys. And for the longest time, they really did not know what mommy's job was, except for she sings the song in their favorite movie. So there you go.
I'll tell you this, that song is a certified Disney classic. So me and a good friend of mine, we constantly jam out to that song even today. So it still hits.
Okay, when we come to the Innings Festival, I'm going to think of you while I'm singing that song.
Gosh. Thank you so much, Cheryl. And yeah, once again, so excited to have you here in the Valley on Saturday. You're going to deliver an amazing performance. And again, I'm just so thankful for the amazing opportunity to talk with you today. Just truly a pleasure.
Awesome. Sam, thanks for having me on. I love meeting you and I'm grateful for you taking the time, and we'll see you on Saturday.